You've felt it before. That strange, magnetic pull toward certain people. The ones who entered your life and immediately felt like home, or the opposite. The ones who challenge you so deeply, so constantly, that you wonder why fate placed them in your path at all. Maybe it's a parent, a sibling, a child, a partner who arrived with no warning and changed everything. Most people call this coincidence, chemistry, luck, bad timing. But Edgar Cayce, the sleeping prophet who spoke from trance states for over 40 years, said something different. He said family is almost never random. He said the people who surround you, especially those bound to you by blood or deep emotional ties, are not accidents, they are appointments. Spiritual appointments that were scheduled long before you were born. Cayce described something called soul groups. Clusters of souls who travel together across lifetimes. Not always in the same roles, not always with the same faces, but always connected by invisible threads of karma, love, debt, and unfinished lessons. He said that when you look into the eyes of your mother, your father, your brother, your daughter, you are not meeting them for the first time. You are continuing a conversation that began centuries ago. Perhaps longer. This is not a comforting idea for everyone, because it means that the people who hurt you, the ones who abandoned you, the ones who misunderstood you or rejected you, they too are part of your soul's curriculum. They are not villains. They are teachers. And you, whether you know it or not, are also teaching them. Edgar Cayce gave thousands of life readings. In these readings, he would enter a deep trance and describe the past lives of individuals who came to him for help. Again and again, he saw the same patterns. Families reincarnating together. Husbands becoming sons. Daughters becoming mothers. Enemies becoming siblings. The roles shifted, but the souls remained linked. Why? Because something between them was left unresolved. A lesson unlearned. A wound unhealed. A debt unpaid. And so the soul, in its infinite patience, arranged another meeting. You incarnate with purpose. Not just your own purpose, but a shared one. The people in your family are mirrors. They reflect back to you the parts of yourself you need to see, the parts you avoid, the parts you've buried, the parts that still need to grow. Cayce said the soul does not waste time. It does not place people in your life for no reason. Every relationship, especially the difficult ones, is a doorway. Walk through it, and you evolve. Turn away, and you'll meet that same door again. Maybe in this life. Maybe in the next. This is why some family bonds feel so ancient, so heavy, so undeniable, because they are. You recognize each other not with your mind, but with something deeper. Something that remembers. Your soul remembers the promises you made, the betrayals you suffered, the love you shared, the mistakes you repeated. And it pulls you back together, again and again, until the lesson is complete. Cayce spoke often about karmic cycles. He said karma is not punishment, it is balance. It is the soul's way of learning what it could not learn before. If you were cruel in one life, you may return to experience that cruelty. If you were loved deeply, you may return to give that love to another. If you abandon someone, you may be the one abandoned. Not because the universe is vengeful, but because the soul learns through experience. It learns by walking in the shoes it once forced others to wear. And family is the classroom where this happens most intensely. Because family is inescapable. You cannot simply leave a parent. You cannot easily abandon a child. The bonds are too strong, the emotions too deep, the patterns too ingrained. And so the soul uses family as the perfect stage for transformation. It places you with the exact people you need to face. The ones who will trigger you, challenge you, break you open, so that you can heal what you could not heal before. Some of you reading this have felt an inexplicable closeness to a family member. A sibling who feels more like a twin soul. A grandparent who understood you when no one else did. A child who looks at you with eyes that seem far older than their years. Cayce would say this is recognition. Soul recognition. You have been together before. You have loved before. You have walked beside each other in other lands, other times, other bodies. And you chose to return together because the bond between you is sacred. It is a bond that transcends time, but not all family bonds feel warm. Some feel like chains, some feel like wounds that never close. Cayce did not shy away from this truth. He said that the most difficult relationships are often the most important. The parent who rejected you may have been someone you rejected in a past life. The sibling who competes with you may have been your rival in another time. The child who resists you may be teaching you the patience you never learned. These are not coincidences. These are spiritual agreements. Contracts written before birth. Contracts that say, I will return with you. I will play this role so that we both can grow. This is why some families feel cursed. Why the same patterns repeat generation after generation. Addiction, abuse, abandonment, silence. Cayce said these patterns are karmic loops. They continue until someone in the family wakes up. Until someone chooses differently. Until someone breaks the cycle with awareness, with forgiveness, with love. That person becomes the healer. Not just for themselves, but for the entire lineage. Past, present, and future. You may be that person. You may be the one who was born into a difficult family, not because you deserved it, but because your soul is strong enough to end it. Strong enough to say, this stops with me. Cayce believed that souls volunteer for the hardest assignments, that the ones who suffer most are often the most advanced because they came to transform, to transmute, to turn pain into purpose. And when they do, they set everyone free. Not just themselves, but everyone who came before and everyone who will come after. Let's go deeper into what Edgar Cayce saw when he looked at families through the lens of reincarnation. He didn't just say people come back together. He described how and why. He explained the mechanics of it, the soul logic, the spiritual laws that govern who returns with whom and what they must face together. Cayce said that before each incarnation, the soul reviews its past. It sees where it succeeded and where it failed. It sees the relationships that helped it grow and the ones that caused harm. And then, with guidance from higher spiritual forces, the soul makes choices. It chooses its parents, its siblings, its children. It chooses the circumstances of its birth. Not to punish itself, but to create the best conditions for learning, for healing, for evolution. This is a radical idea. It means you chose your family, not consciously, not with your human mind, but with your soul's wisdom. You chose them because they had something to teach you, or because you had something to teach them, or because together you could resolve something that has been unresolved for lifetimes, maybe centuries. Think about the relationships in your family that feel the most intense, the ones that stir the deepest emotions: love, anger, grief, resentment, longing. According to Cayce, these emotions are not accidents. They are echoes of past life connections. The intensity you feel is proportional to the history you share. A passing acquaintance in one life will not reincarnate as your parent, but a lover, a partner, a betrayer, a savior. These souls return in powerful roles because the bond between you is too strong to dissolve. It must be worked through, understood, healed. Cayce gave an example in one of his readings. A woman came to him suffering from a terrible relationship with her mother. No matter what she did, her mother criticized her, rejected her, withheld love. The pain was unbearable. In the reading, Cayce revealed that in a past life, the roles were reversed. The daughter had been the mother, and she had abandoned her child, left her to suffer. The current mother in that life had been the abandoned child. Now the roles had switched. The soul who was once abandoned became the withholding mother. And the soul who once abandoned was now the rejected daughter. The karmic loop was clear. The lesson was forgiveness. On both sides, when the woman heard this, everything changed. She didn't excuse her mother's behavior, but she understood it. She saw the bigger picture. She realized that her mother wasn't just being cruel. She was acting out an ancient wound, a wound that they both carried, and the only way to heal it was to stop repeating it, to offer the love that was never given, to forgive what was never apologized for, to break the cycle with compassion. This is the work of soul families, to bring forward the unresolved, to make it visible, to make it unbearable, so that finally someone will choose love over pain. Someone will choose forgiveness over revenge. Someone will choose healing over repetition. Cayce said this is why family relationships can feel so hard. Because they are meant to be transformative. They are not meant to be easy. They are meant to be sacred. Some of you have children who feel like old souls. Children who seem wise beyond their years. Who look at you with a knowing gaze. Cayce said this is because they are old souls. They have lived many lives, and they chose you as their parent for a reason. Maybe they are here to teach you patience, or surrender, or unconditional love. Maybe you were once their child, or their student, or their enemy, and now the roles have reversed. Now they are the teacher, and you are the student. This is why parenting can feel so humbling. Because your children are not blank slates. They are souls with their own history, their own karma, their own lessons. And sometimes those lessons involve you. Sometimes they are here to heal something you couldn't heal in a past life, or to forgive you for something you did, or to give you the chance to do it right this time. Cayce also spoke about soulmates within families. Not romantic soulmates, but spiritual ones, souls who have walked beside you for eons, who have supported you, guided you, loved you unconditionally across many lifetimes. These are the family members who feel like home, the ones who see you, understand you, accept you without judgment. They are rare, but when you find them, you know. Because the love you feel is not new, it is ancient. It is a reunion, a remembering, a return to something you never really lost. But Cayce warned against idealizing soul connections. He said that just because you have a history with someone doesn't mean the relationship will be easy. In fact, the deepest soul connections often involve the hardest lessons. Because the soul is not interested in comfort, it is interested in growth. And growth requires challenge, friction, conflict. Without it, there is no transformation. Without it, the soul remains stuck. So if you have a family member who pushes every button, who triggers every wound, who makes you question everything about yourself, do not assume it's a mistake. Cayce would say it's the opposite. It's precision. That person is there to show you what you haven't yet healed, what you haven't yet understood, what you haven't yet forgiven, in yourself or in them. And here's the deeper truth. You are doing the same for them. You are their mirror, their teacher, their challenge. You are showing them what they need to see, even if neither of you realizes it. Even if both of you are lost in the pain of it, the soul knows. The soul is always working, always guiding, always moving toward resolution. Cayce said that when a karmic cycle is complete, the relationship changes. Sometimes it softens, sometimes it ends. Not with bitterness, but with peace. A quiet knowing that the lesson is done. The debt is paid, the contract is fulfilled. And both souls are free to move forward. Not with resentment, but with gratitude. Because they helped each other become who they needed to be. This is the gift of soul families. They are not here to make life easy. They are here to make life meaningful. To give your struggles purpose. to turn your pain into wisdom, to remind you that you are not a victim of your circumstances. You are a soul on a journey, and everyone in your family is a companion on that journey. Some walk beside you in light, some walk beside you in shadow, but all of them are walking with you toward the same destination, toward wholeness, toward love, toward home. Now we come to the question that matters most. If families are spiritually linked across lifetimes, if the people around you are not random, if every conflict and every connection has a deeper purpose, then what are you supposed to do with that knowledge? How do you live differently? How do you heal the cycles? How do you honor the soul contracts you made before you were even born? Edgar Cayce gave clear guidance on this. He said the first step is awareness. You must see the pattern before you can change it. You must recognize that the anger you feel toward your father, the resentment toward your sibling, the pain caused by your child, these are not just personal emotions. They are karmic signals. They are your soul's way of saying, pay attention. This matters. This is why you came. Once you see the pattern, the next step is responsibility. Not blame, not guilt, but responsibility. Cayce said you cannot control what others do. You cannot force your family to wake up, to heal, to change. But you can control what you do. You can choose how you respond. You can choose whether you repeat the cycle or break it. And that choice, that single choice, has the power to shift everything. Not just for you, but for everyone connected to you. Past, present, and future. Let's be clear. Breaking a karmic cycle does not mean becoming passive. It does not mean accepting abuse. It does not mean staying in relationships that harm you. Cayce never taught doormat spirituality. He taught empowered compassion. He taught that you can set boundaries and still hold love in your heart. You can walk away from toxicity and still send blessings. You can protect yourself and still forgive. These are not contradictions. They are the work of a mature soul. Forgiveness is the key. Cayce said it over and over. Forgiveness is the tool that unlocks every karmic door. But forgiveness does not mean forgetting. It does not mean pretending the hurt didn't happen. It means releasing the energetic grip that the hurt has on you. It means refusing to carry the weight of it into another lifetime. It means saying, I see what happened. I feel the pain. But I will not let it define me. I will not let it chain me to the past. When you forgive, you set yourself free. But you also set the other person free, even if they never apologize, even if they never change, even if they never understand. Your forgiveness is not for them, it is for you. It is the bridge that allows your soul to move forward, to complete the lesson, to close the loop. Cayce also spoke about love, not sentimental love, not conditional love, but soul love. The kind of love that sees beyond the surface, that sees the struggling soul beneath, the difficult behavior, that recognizes the pain behind the anger, the fear behind the control, the wound behind the rejection. This kind of love does not excuse harm, but it understands it. And understanding is the beginning of healing. Imagine looking at a family member who has hurt you, and instead of seeing an enemy, you see a soul in pain. A soul carrying wounds from this life, and maybe many others. A soul doing the best it can with the tools it has. When you see them this way, something shifts. The anger softens. The resentment loses its grip. You may still choose to create distance. You may still protect yourself, but you do it without hatred, without bitterness. And that makes all the difference. Cayce said that some family cycles take more than one lifetime to resolve. Sometimes you do your part in this life, and the completion comes later, in another life, with the same souls. But in new circumstances, this is not failure, this is patience. Soul growth is not a sprint, it is a long winding path. And every step you take toward love, toward forgiveness, toward awareness. Every step matters. Even if you can't see the full result yet, there's also the question of purpose. Why do some families stay together in peace while others seem cursed by conflict? Cayce said it depends on what the souls agreed to learn. Some soul groups come together to create, to build, to support. These are the families that feel harmonious, where love flows easily, where everyone uplifts each other. These souls have already worked through the hard lessons. They are reaping the reward of past efforts. They are enjoying the fruits of karmic balance. But other soul groups come together to heal, to transform, to break patterns. These are the families that feel chaotic, where nothing is easy, where every conversation is a landmine, where love is mixed with pain. These souls are still in the thick of the lesson, still working through the karma, and it is hard. But it is also holy, because they are doing the deep work, the work that sets everyone free. If you are in one of these families, know this. You are not being punished. You are being entrusted. Entrusted with the task of transformation. Entrusted with the power to end what has gone on for generations. You are the cycle breaker, the pattern shifter, the one who said yes to the hardest assignment. And your soul knew you were strong enough, brave enough, awake enough to do it. So what does the cycle breaker do? They stop blaming. They stop waiting for others to change first. They take the first step. They offer the apology that was never given. They extend the kindness that was never shown. They choose peace over being right. They choose love over fear. And slowly, the energy shifts, maybe not immediately, maybe not in everyone, but it shifts, and that shift is felt across time, across lifetimes, across the entire soul group. Cayce also said that when a cycle closes, there's often a sense of peace, a quiet knowing, a feeling that something has been completed. You may not understand it fully with your mind, but your soul knows. The weight lifts, the struggle ends. The relationship either heals or naturally fades, not with drama, but with grace. And you are left with a deep gratitude, not for the pain, but for the growth, for the wisdom, for the love that was found beneath the hurt. And here's the beautiful part. When you heal a karmic pattern, you don't just heal yourself. You heal your ancestors, the ones who came before you and struggled with the same pain. You heal your descendants, the ones who will come after you and will no longer have to carry that burden. You become a bridge between past and future, a bridge that transforms suffering into strength, pain into purpose, karma into grace. This is the legacy of soul families. Not perfection, but transformation. Not ease, but meaning. Not avoidance, but courage. You came here to love deeply, to forgive radically, to heal completely. And the people in your family, the ones who challenge you most, are your greatest allies in that mission. Even if it doesn't feel that way, even if it hurts, even if you wish it were different. Edgar Cayce believed in the soul's journey. He believed that nothing is wasted, no pain is pointless, no relationship is random. He believed that we are all walking each other home, slowly, imperfectly, beautifully, and that the family we were born into is not a prison. It is a temple where the soul learns its most sacred lessons, where it remembers who it really is, where it finally, after lifetimes of searching, finds its way back to love. So take a breath. Look at your family with new eyes, not as strangers, not as enemies, but as fellow travelers. Souls you have known before, souls you will know again. And ask yourself, what am I here to learn? What am I here to heal? What am I here to give? The answers will come. Not all at once, but they will come. And when they do, you will understand. You will see the sacred design, the divine choreography, the love that has been guiding you all along. And you will know, deep in your soul, that it was all worth it. Every tear, every struggle, every moment of confusion, because it brought you here, to this moment, to this awareness, to this choice, the choice to heal, to forgive, to love, to finally close the cycle and set everyone free.